And next up at UFC Vegas 118, we've got Jordan Leavitt taking on Joanderson Brito. Give me Joanderson Brito in this matchup here. I think on the feet, Brito should have enough success here to win this one. These fights are scored based on damage, and I think that Brito's ability to walk down his opponent, back them up against the fence here as they fight on the outside and land big power shots should get it done here in the eyes of the judges. Brito can mix in grappling, and a lot of people are going to, kind of point to that last fight against Pat Sabatini where he was controlled, but Pat Sabatini is a physical specimen. The guy can grapple. The guy is a highly decorated Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt with great wrestling. And I think that Brito played too much into Pat Sabatini's hands in that fight. I think what he needs to do here is kind of utilize the striking, utilize his footwork, and back Jordan Leavitt up. And Jordan Leavitt is a guy that even though he likes to mix in the grappling and the wrestling, he doesn't have the same control that Pat Sabatini does. And in the striking as well, he utilizes kicks from the outside, but I think that his hands lack and his defensive abilities on the feet will lack and allow Brito to be able to land big shots on the feet with the boxing. I could see Leavitt here backing up, really struggling to get takedowns, shooting at legs as Brito sprawls. And I could see Brito, kind of engaging in the grappling, but from a more dominant position on top here, landing ground and pound, getting into side control, landing even, elbows from crucifix here. Brito, he can grapple. There's no secret about that. I think his ability to look to do damage is what's going to win him this fight. On the feet, he slams the low kick. He'll attack that lead leg. And his ability to be able to land the big right hand as his opponent is kind of backed up against the fence. His ability to cut off the cage is what's going to serve him well here as Leavitt dances around on the outside, spamming takedowns and kicking from the outside. I just think that Joanderson Brito, once he figures out a way to be able to kind of corral Leavitt against the fence, he's going to be able to land big power shots. He rips the body well. And I think if it does end up in the grappling realms, that Leavitt isn't going to be able to hold down Brito for long enough to be able to implement his own submission game. And I think that Brito is probably the overall better wrestler and more sort of stronger physical fighter here in this particular matchup. Leavitt more of a jiu-jitsu practitioner with a little bit of wrestling. I think that Brito is probably overall the better wrestler here. So I think that's going to allow him to dictate what he wants to do in this fight. And on the feet, I think Brito carries much more power and has a little bit more to offer in terms of the boxing and his ability to corral Jordan Leavitt against the fence. So I'm going with Joanderson Brito in this one. Feel reasonably confident he should get it done. Let's see who Carlos has got in this matchup.
Okay, in this one, I'm going to go with Jordan Leavitt to get it done. I think Leavitt is the bigger, stronger grappler with the very technical wrestling. I think that Leavitt is pretty much like human Velcro. Once he gets a lock on you, I think Brito's going to have a very difficult time trying to get him off. He can shoot very smoothly in an exchange of striking, and he doesn't have to rely on the takedown against the cage. He can do that in the center of the ring. And, Brito's going to cause a bit of an issue, I think, when it comes to the striking because of his speed, his athleticism. But I don't think it's anything that Leavitt can't deal with. I mean, he's very physically imposing for this weight class. So I think that Leavitt can shoot. I think he can get him to the ground. And I think if it stays on the feet, just the threat of the takedown is going to make Brito have to worry about it, bring his hands down, try to frame off, try to get underhooks. And I do feel that Leavitt can be an issue if he lands some of those whipping overhand rights. They're looping and they whip, but they're very effective. And he does have very heavy leg kicks as well. So, I think, I'm glad that the twerking is pretty much done with Leavitt. I think he's on to a different chapter in his career at 145 because I think we're going to have a lot of success from him. So I'm going to take Jordan Leavitt to get it done.